there, welcome back. I'm going to keep up the animation theme because I'm going to look at Pixar today. Just a general look at the films. I'm on a bit of a Pixar tear over the Christmas holidays. I've been buying them for a while and eventually they just pile it up. I was like, I need to watch these, and so I started watching them and just went through most of them. I didn't watch all the ones I'd seen before, but I'd watched all the ones I'd missed. So there are some obvious things that Pixar everyone knows, like the Cars movies. I didn't bother watching them because I watched the first one, didn't like it. I saw bits of the second one because my nephew likes it and I thought it was garbage. I didn't even bother with the third one. It was like, what's the point? I don't like these movies. They're just, to me, they're the worst of Pixar. They're insular, they're into their own thing, but I don't think what they're into there is interesting. So I just kind of gave it the wide berth. Toy Story, I've seen the first three. I haven't seen the new one, the fourth one. I'll get to it. Toy Story films are terrific. They're really well made. My favourite's the second one. The first one I took my went into when it first released. It was so overhyped. It's like, you have to love this film, and it's like, I saw it and I was like, yeah, it's a good film. Why am I supposed to love it? You know, I like it. And then the weird thing is, the Toy Story films, I've never been in a rush to go see them. Like, I saw the first two in the cinema, the other two, the third one I saw on Blu-ray, the fourth one I'll see in Blu-ray, and I've never really been in need to watch them. The second one I really liked though, the second one really worked, but I've kind of, after that I felt I'd seen the best that we're ever going to do, and I still stand by that. I think Toy Story 2 is the best they're ever going to do in this series. It's really, I guess it's the perfect way to do that story. The first one was really well done, the third one was really well done, but I think the second one really delivers. So I've kind of lost interest in that series. Like, I watched them as they come out, but it's like, you've done it, I don't need to see a more imperfect version of something you've already got right, you know. I don't, they're not cash counted, they only release them every so often, so I don't only release them with an idea, but I just think they did the best idea. So there's no real want for me to see any more. When they come out, I'll see them, but I'm not like dying to see them. The Bug's Life is fine. I enjoyed it when it came out, but I've never done any real urge to rewatch or anything. I preferred Ants, to be honest, which was the other one by DreamWorks. There was an Ants, Bug's Life War. Which one came out? Ants came out first. Bug's Life was meant to be the better one. I preferred Ants because I thought it was funnier. Bug's Life I thought was a difficult second film, because you know the big hit with Toy Story, you do the second film and sometimes it's not quite as good because you're too stressed about it, and then when you go on to do the rest of your films you're fine. Bug's Life to me feels that difficult second film. It just feels like it's not quite as sharp as some of the other ones. I mean, the other ones were made by John Lasseter before his come down with the different harassment suits or whatever. I don't know what actually happened there. I don't really care. You're never going to quite know what happened there, but early on he did some good films as a director, and then he seemed to become a corporate guy. So, and to be honest, I think they brought in directors who are more interesting directors who did better films after he stepped back. I mean, Pete Docter, Andrew Stanton, Brad Bird, they've all done Pixar films which I think are much better than the early stuff. I just think they're better, really. So so after all of this, we first got the Monsters Inc., which was a very good film. It was the one I'd missed for a long time. After like Toy Story, the Toy Story 2 and Bug's Life in between them, it was then moving away from the Toy Story stuff to do other things. I need Monsters Inc., which is another massive hit. It's the one I did miss though. I missed that when it first came out, and I only ever saw it this year. It's been that long a wait to see it. I saw it, like, this is really good. I should have watched it earlier. When I saw the idea of these monsters in the room, I thought, what's the story there? It doesn't need much of a story. So I never got interested in seeing it, and then I saw what they did with the story. It was like, oh, this is good. This is really well done. I'd have to rewatch this. This is entertaining. The characters were good. The dynamics were good, the story was good, it kept on switching around. You kind of knew where it was going, you knew who the villain was. The villain was pretty easy to figure out. But it didn't matter because the characters were so good. Unfortunately, years later they did a Monsters University, which was a total cash, and this was, I think, the worst. I would say the Cars movies, this is the worst of Pixar, because the characters felt very different, and there might be younger versions of characters, but the characters in the old film were enjoyable. The younger versions were just annoying and didn't quite match with what you've been told, and they didn't quite feel like the same characters. They just felt like irritating versions of those characters, and it was a bit tone deaf, and it was just like, I didn't need to see this. This was annoying. And the annoying thing was because I saw it just after the Monsters Inc. I saw Monsters University. It was like, okay, I've seen it. It just doesn't work. You can see there's a big drop off. It's not a bad film. It's just unnecessary. I think if it was unrelated to Monsters Inc., it would have been a lot better, really. But I think it just was just a kind of blah film. I'm glad to get that out of the way with, because that's actually the one I didn't like. Now I can go to the stuff I do like now. I'm not sure where all these films fall within the canon of when they were made. So I'm just going to go through them as I remember them coming out, rather than trying to say this came here, this came here, this came here. The Incredibles was wonderful. The Incredibles 2 was wonderful. The exact opposite of Monsters Inc. thing, where Monsters Inc. had a bad sequel. This one had a very good original and a very good sequel. These are not the best Brad Bird movies, either of them. I like some of his other films better, but they're very good. I think Iron Giant's a better film, but Incredibles is really well made. Especially on rewatch, when you see it again and see all the jokes they put in and the character beats. I think the problem with the Incredibles films for me usually is I don't like the main mystery. The main mystery I usually figured out really quick, and it's like, just get to it. But all the character stuff's really good, and all the details and the detail of the world is all really good. It's just always feel like the drama's there, but the mystery is always like could have been a little bit better. That's the only like slight flaw I've got in these films. They're really well directed, they're really well acted, the voice acting's terrific, the design's terrific. The pacing's wonderful. They all have wonderful action scenes that are very character based, so you can enjoy the action scenes and not think, why was that there? They all feel like you need to have them in the film. They're just wonderful films. They're like superhero films done in animation, and you can get to the heart of the superhero films and the absurdity of them a lot easier using animation you can using live action a lot of the time. So these are wonderful films. These are really well made. Then we've got Finding Dory and Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. Another set of two films. This one's kind of in the middle, really, between Monsters Inc. and Incredibles for fall off for the sequel. Finding Nemo is a really terrific film. Finding Nemo is really well made. It's wonderful. I just sat and did these ones. The first one really works. The first one's like a simple little story, a father and son. The son gets lost, the father has to find him. The big twist is the fish. That's all it is. It's an epic story of a fish trying to find his son. It works beautifully. It's done as perfectly as you possibly do. And it's wonderful to see. I've seen it a few times. I'd happily watch it. I don't need to watch it all the time, but it's good to have it there, and you know you can watch it when you feel like it. The second one, Finding Dory, is about a fish called Dory that's friends with Nemo and his dad, played by Ellen DeGeneres, and she has short-term memory and she can't remember anything, and she gets lost this time. They have to go and find her, and it just feels like the same film again, but with a different person lost. It works to a degree because her story is different from Nemo's story, so you've got different dynamics, and it kind of works. It's just that they've got like a couple of the ending really feels like it's overdone. It's like characters doing stuff that can't happen in real life, but it's beyond your suspension of disbelief. There's little bits of that throughout the film. It feels like it's going a bit further than it really should, but it's still a nice little film. It's still really well made. It's one of those films I'd be happy to rewatch without a problem. It's just not as good as the first one. It was made by Andrew Stanton just after it is a massive bomb with John Carter. The films I really like, so he was kind of forced to do this because he just had a massive bomb. And that's fine, that's the way you need to do to get your career back on track. Fine. It's a good film, just not as good as the first one. His other film for Pixar was WALL-E, which is probably his best film. I think it's his most perfect film. But a robot that goes to its building up the trash on Earth after Earth's been abandoned, and it falls in love, and it has to go and save its love, and ends up going to outer space to find its the other robot that it fell for, and the robot found signs of plant life coming back to Earth, and she's taken it back to humanity who's out in space. So it's a story about a robot trying to find his love, but also about bringing humanity back to Earth and teaching them to basically survive responsibly rather than just consume everything. And it's one of those films, it's just done perfectly. The design's perfect, the pacing's terrific, the character work's terrific. It's almost a silent lead character. It's just so perfect for what it is. It's just like it would be the perfect Pixar film, except for Up. Now, Up's my favourite of any of the Pixar films. Up's like easily my favourite. Up's about this little boy and old man who go on an adventure in a house which is lifted by balloons, which takes them to Africa, where they find this reclusive guy who was an explorer who was lost years ago. And it's all about heroes and your aspirations for life and what you wanted in your life and what life actually delivered, and how children see the universe versus how an older person sees the world. And it's just perfect. It's just about like the different perspectives of life, how we see the world and how we see our lives, and how we see adventure, and what adventure means to you emotionally. It's just great because it's about what animation can do. Animation can show you stuff that can't happen in real life, can allow you to dream for a while. And it's also about the limitations of that, of how that affects your real life. And it's done it just done so well. Everything's done perfectly. Up is just an amazing film. It and WALL-E are the two great Pixar films for me. I think they came pretty much as Pixar was peaking. It had a formula, but the formula hadn't gone stale, and it was using the formula to actually deliver really great films. I think after that, the formula made it go down a little bit, but still a lot of good films coming after that. We had Ratatouille, another Brad Bird movie. Terrific film. It's funnier than the last few I've mentioned. It's more of a comedy about a rat who's a great cook and who has to teach a idiot to cook, and controls him with his hair. It's really silly. It really is silly, but it works. It really works really well. It's about trying to get good reviews from this food snob in Paris, and it's just really silly. But because of Brad Bird doing it, he understands humour and comedy and weirdness. He just knows what he's doing. So it's a perfect example of a silly movie done just beautifully. So Brad Bird did that, then moved off to live action for a while and did Mission Impossible 4 and Tomorrowland before coming back for Incredibles. And Andrew Stanton went on to do John Carter. So a lot of these directors thought they were advancing up into live action, but they all kind of came back eventually. Because live action isn't the superior option if you're good at animation. It just is, it's just a different medium. In between that, we did those Cars movies that always kind of cheapen the brand slightly, and the sequels. We had Toy Story 3 just between, I think it was Up and Ratatouille. And then Pixar was now owned by Disney, and it came on the thing of making a lot of films at one time, and some of the films might not have been as good, and some directors were fired and stuff. So there was some turnover, but they still did some good stuff amidst some troubles. I mean, there was one film called A Good Dinosaur, which got a lot of bad reviews and didn't do well, and was viewed as the idea maybe Pixar's not as good as it used to be. I saw it and I enjoyed it. I thought it was, yeah, the first 15 minutes were a bit slow and a bit clunky, and the signs of the film had been like reshot bits. But once it got going, when you realised it was a western with dinosaurs, the thing that came to kill the dinosaurs missed the planet. The asteroid came and missed the planet rather than hitting. Dinosaurs didn't die off, and it's how they evolved. Now there's humans involved. Humans have evolved as well, and they have to interact a little bit. And a dinosaur at a farm gets lost, has to find his way home, and he teams up with a human to find a way home. And it's a human also trying to find his way to his group of people. That's all it is. It's a simple western plot with dinosaurs and humans, but it works beautifully. It's just the idea of this dinosaur lost his father in the floods as well, so he's dealing with the fact he lost his father, but he's also dealing with the fact he has to protect this human, and the humans also try to protect of him, and the humans and the dinosaurs don't get on to start with, but they learn to get on as they go. It's just a nice little film. It's really well done, but I think it was because of the hype of Pixar that made it feel like a disappointment. It's like, this was way better than Monsters University or the Cars films. It's not top level Pixar, but it's a nice little film. It also had a disadvantage of coming out just after Inside Out, which was a film about a girl, and you've seen her emotions and how her emotions take hold of her and how her emotions control her, and the idea of a girl's life seen from the inside her head as she moves from a small town to a city, and as she loses contact with her friends, her old friends, and how it affects her, and how life affects her, and how like the Joy character inside her head is trying to push back against the sadness of having lost her friends, and how sadness is actually a natural part of life that you have to deal with and have to live with. So it's another terrific film. It's really well made. It's for the director of Up, and it's another terrific film. I don't think it's quite as good as Up, but it's almost there. It's like it's still top level Pixar stuff. It's still really well done for an animation film. You know, it really knows what it's doing. It's perfectly done. Then there's Brave. Brave's like a mid-level one. It's set in Scotland of a girl, has problems with her mother. Her mother is turned into a bear because of a wish that she made because she was making up with her mother. So it's a mother-daughter thing, and the frustration with each other. And it's the backdrop is Scottish Highlands and the Scottish clan system, and it's all very macho, and this is a girl who is very dependent and who wants to do her own thing, and she's a tomboy. And it becomes a thing of her learning to live within her system and then change it to what she needs it to be, and to get her family to learn from her experiences but also to respect them and accept their flaws. And it's also an adventure story with her and her mum trying to survive a bad situation caused by the daughter. It's a nice film. It's well made. It's not unique in any way, but it's well made. It's like it's just like a Scottish kind of mythical story done in a Pixar way. So there is a bit of a mismatch. It's like you feel it could be a little bit darker, but it's been forced to be a bit happier. And the Scottish stuff is a bit overdone, especially early on, but it kind of calms down. But it's a well-made film. You'll enjoy it when you see it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just well done. It's a well done film. And then there's basically Toy Story, which Toy Story 4 which I haven't seen. I'm sure there's some other ones in between you can tell what they are, but I haven't seen anything beyond what I've mentioned, really. I catch these films years later. I don't go to Pixar films, so I saw The Incredibles 2, that was good. But it's trying to think, well, what did any other ones come in between? I can't quite remember. So I'm going to end the video here, and I hope I got it right. Hope I didn't forget anything important. But I'm sure most of you have seen the video have seen Pixar films. They're very good films. Some are better than others, like any other series of films. but I'm hoping the future films will also be very good. So they seem to be in a period of transition just now, so hopefully we'll still see some good stuff. Well, bye for now. I hope you enjoyed it. We're back soon with other videos. Bye.